Did you ever comment on Rex Ryan's veneers and how they were way too big for his mouth?
I felt like I didn't have to worry about this with Jared Goff and Justin Herbert.
He's an angry elf. I don't have to fake it. If I just be myself, good, bad, ugly, that's okay. I can own that.
There's this kid, he's from Indonesia, and he sits on the front of these boat races, and that was his dance. This thing, and then like that.
I'm guessing the kid on the boat
dance
is not as big as Vita.
All right, thank you, Baker Mayfield, for joining the show. NFL on Fox presents Rearview. Buddy, you guys are hot right now, hot out of the blocks, and it looks like you're having an excellent time. Do you even know how old you were the last time the Bucs were 3-0?
Only reason I know that is because my wife told me. It was 2005, so I was 10.
Yeah,
I was a fresh 10 years old.
Does she have to like sift through the headlines for you and then present to you what's acceptable, what she thinks is acceptable in the newspaper?
Yeah, she likes to give the fun facts like that one.
I want to go into some of this pregame mindset. You know, a lot of players were facing somebody they had history with in this game against the Jets this past Sunday, whether it was Hassan Reddick in the Jets, Todd Bowles in the Jets, you and Steve Wilks. Give me some of that that feeling leading up to it. Did it come up in conversations going into the game during the week, or where did all that start?
Coach Bowles never even mentioned it. It's kind of one of those things that nobody says anything, but after him being there and him being the last guy to take them to the playoffs, I think, or have a winning record, I think maybe. That's a big deal. And then obviously Hassan coming in and just getting to know him a little bit more, just throughout the offseason and whatnot, hearing all the chaos that he went through. Just you just know that it means more to those guys. And obviously my history with Steve Wilks. So, I mean, it's not that the game's about that, but it's just a little bit extra motivation for the guys something to rally behind. That's as competitors at the highest level of football, you try and find anything you can to motivate yourself a little bit extra. And so when you have some stories like that'll help you out along the week.
That's perfect. What about when you get cut by Steve Wilks? I got cut by John Elway, so that one really hurt because I was, a huge fan of his. I had his picture in my room, But I walked into the office, and I will say I appreciated, his blunt force trauma approach. There was no beating around the bush. It was, sorry, dude, we're going to go with Trevor Siemian. Going to use your contract to pay Emmanuel Sanders, and we got to re-up CJ Anderson. So looks like the Cowboys are going to claim you, and we appreciate everything you did.
Yeah.
It's just like, wait, what? Do I get a chance to say anything?
No, you don't.
Holding on to his leg. I'm not leaving.
You still have his picture up. It's just got a little X over his face now.
So, okay, did Wilks just send somebody, or did he talk to you?
No, we had a conversation, which I did respect, which, going off of what you're saying, being straight to it, that's really all you can ask for, is to hear it. No beating around the bush, get to it. It is what it is. That's the nature of the game. Unfortunately, majority of the guys have to deal with it. Mine wasn't exactly straight to it, but basically left it up to me whether I was going to get released. So I was either going to be inactive and doing
passive aggressive.
So I'm either getting cut or I ask for my release. It is what it is. And I'm a firm believer everything happens for a reason. So it worked out for me tremendously because I got to go to LA, be around McVay, some of those guys, learn, get 5 games on my resume before heading into free agency. So it wasn't exactly straight to it, but it's the nature of the game. And pretty appreciative it happened because it got me to Tampa.
Okay, I want to talk about this most recent game and your rookie receiver. This guy's lit the world on fire, whether it was week 1 and, last catch of the game. This week, the one-hander on Sauce Gardner. I mean, somebody's got to put the ball in the right place, and this guy just seems to find it. How impressed have you been with Egbuka? I
mean, since day one, just talking to him, you can tell he's extremely cerebral. Obviously, you get drafted that high, your physical talents are off the charts. Like that is what it is. But he's so smart. Football IQ through the roof, understands what we're trying to get done. And even back in April, he was able to play all 3 receiver spots, which as a rookie to step in an offense like this, not an easy thing to do. So hat off to him because he's a stud. He prepares the right way. He doesn't act like a rookie. It really is impressive.
Have you had to remind him anything on the field? I know he knows it, as you mentioned, but do you ever give him a little reminder? Hey, cut your split. Those kind of little Don't forget you got the slant on this one. It's going to take a little longer. Anything like that you make sure you remind him, or is he already doing that?
He's already doing it, and he's actually the one that's helping out the other guys, which it's extremely impressive. Like to have somebody, especially since Chris is out and has been out. Chris is normally Godwin's normally that guy to help get everybody on the same page, but it's been tremendous to have him.
Explain that kind of mentality to fans. Like on Sunday, we were always told it's a group test. There are no secrets. If somebody has a tip or a reminder that you need, or somebody has a question, you better tell his ass, or else we're going to get embarrassed. So that kind of mentality, making sure guys can remind other players of stuff going on.
Yeah, and that's just like, I'm a firm believer, like you don't have to have the perfect play drawn up at all, but if all your guys are on the same page, you can make it work somehow. It might not be an explosive play, but you're not going to have a negative one. So I just think having as many football IQ guys on your team, obviously it helps when they're talented, but having those guys be able to get people on the same page is tremendous. I mean, even on the 2-minute drive, getting a check to a screen late in the game. Sterling didn't.
That was a check.
Yeah, Sterling didn't hear the call. Kate Otten, another guy that we rely on to be able to get people on the same page, relays it to him, and that's what you can ask for. Like all you can ask for is guys being able to adjust and adapt on the fly in critical moments, and we have a bunch of those guys.
Oh, dude, that's huge. I mean, making sure guys can communicate like that sets up the go-ahead field goal.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the defense. Your guy, Jamel Dean, gets the pick 6. Oh, no, first, Antoine Winfield Jr.
Yeah.
I mean, this dude's an absolute savage out there. And he basically won the division a few years back on the punch out on the goal line.
Yep.
And then now he's doing the same stuff, just ripping quarterbacks' heads off and punching the ball out.
Yep.
Vita Vea recovers. Explain some of the guys on defense. How do you practice against these guys?
It is. I tell you what, it's a pain in the ass. Because, I mean, when they moved Tyke Smith to safety, so him and Antoine just playing off each other, giving the same looks. They're both down by the line of scrimmage. You never know who's actually blitzing, who's not. So it is hard when you're not game planning against our guys in the offseason to practice against them. But, I mean, Antoine, just him being out there, leading. Obviously, you have Levante in the middle calling the plays, but just having those veteran guys that know and understand how to disguise coverages and pressures that and when to time up these blitzes. Like some of those things you can't teach, and Antoine does them so naturally, and it makes it really hard. So as a Buccaneer, it makes me really happy on Sundays, but not throughout the week when we're going up against them.
I like that. What about that trend throughout the league, this position flexibility where you get teams with 3 safeties, but they have cover corner experience on the outside. They have nickel experience on the inside. And now we're just shifting guys all over the place.
Yeah.
How much harder is that for you to decipher? That's been kind of like this trend, I feel like, these last couple of years. I see it when I'm calling the game because I'm like, wait, I remember this guy. He was a nickel and so-and-so. Now he's playing safety here.
Yeah.
That's hard to decipher.
It really is. Just guys being able to do a little bit of everything. Like I think we have a great rookie nickel, Jacob Parrish, who's a stud. He can cover on the outside. He's also an unbelievable blitzer. So being able to have guys that can do similar things. I mean, you look at the Monday night game, a guy like Kyle Hamilton, how versatile he is. Brian Branch as well. Like those, having guys like that, and we have a few of those, that it just makes it hard to game plan. You can't pick up on tendencies because everybody can do the same thing. So it's just hard as an offense to try and get a beat on it of what they're doing.
Can we break down this celebration with Vita Vea on the front of the boat, everybody rowing the boat? Do you know what this is?
I have no clue what they're doing, and I still don't know. If it keeps
you haven't heard any of it?
No. If it keeps happening, I'm happy. I don't know what they're doing, though.
Okay, so I had to look this up, too. But there's this kid. He's from Indonesia, and he sits on the front of these boat races, and that was his dance, this thing, and then like that, like doing the deal. Vita Vea's on the front.
I'm guessing the kid on the boat
dance
is not as big as Vita.
I mean, he might fit in Vita Vea's pocket. But he's got like these sick like outfielder shades on, and he's on the front of the boat. I can't believe you haven't seen this.
I'm going to have to look it up after this then. People called it aura farming, and I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Yes.
I might be aging myself.
Look at this kid.
Oh, he's got some swag to him. You're right. He could fit in Vita's pocket for sure. It's good on the grass field. I wouldn't imagine that Vita on the front of a boat would go well.
Coming out of halftime, you guys are whooping on the Jets. I need to understand some of this playmaking ability with your feet. I feel like we're seeing it more and more each week. You hit the R2 at one point on like the 10, 12-yard scramble, and then one just up the sideline, turns the corner like he's rounding second base, going to go for home. I was like, whoa, who is this guy? Where'd you get the extra gear? What's going on?
I wouldn't necessarily say I have an extra gear. I get the 0 to 100 pretty quick, but that 100% is not real fast. Yeah, no, just trying to be elusive, extend plays on third downs, and then the long one, it's always, for me, it's always one of those, like, I figure I'm going to be tackled by now or have to slide to keep the clock rolling in that situation. And all of a sudden there's a lane. I'm like, oh gosh, okay. I don't know what to do with my hands type thing. Just keep running, Forrest Gump, until they get me. But yeah, just trying to take advantage of the moments. Yeah, just split the gap. But yeah, anything it takes to try and win a ball game.
And then the sensation after, because usually you're pretty animated after those moments. What are you thinking in your head? And then is there like something, a bell that or alarm that goes off? Like, okay, I gotta get back. I gotta be a quarterback again.
Yeah, there's definitely a little extra juice after those, because it honestly surprises me when it happens. So I get that out of my system like a little kid, and then I'm like, okay, I got to go back to calling plays again. And especially on the long scramble, thought, obviously this is before the blocked field goal, thought, this is going to seal it. We're going to go down and score, put the game away. Obviously it didn't happen like that, but yeah, trying to get the crowd going a little bit.
Perfect segue. We're looking into a momentum shift in this game, and the Jets score 2 touchdowns. They block the field goal, and there goes Will McDonald. And everything kind of turns. The stadium probably quieted down quite a bit, and people start looking around, and oh boy, here we go. Tell me about that moment of the game.
Obviously not ideal by any means. But just looking at the clock and thinking, all right, we got 2 timeouts, a little less than 2 minutes. That's plenty of time to go down. And when all you need is a field goal to win it, that's a lifetime. So, and just trusting our kicker. We love Chase. He obviously didn't have a great start to the year, but he's going to figure it out, and we trust that. So understanding that, as long as we get down to the 40-yard line, 40, 42, we're in field goal range at that point with the game on the line. So doing anything at that time to get it down there, and understanding that in our 2-minute drills, that's something that we drill all the time, and to be able to get some protection fixes in it and go from there.
The sideline huddle, the mindset, take me inside the 2-minute drive. What do you say to the guys, the tips and reminders in that situation? And then do you use anything to motivate them?
No, it's obviously a little different since we did it the 2 weeks prior. So like guys said, where would you rather be? Let's go do it again. Telling them we have plenty of time, 2 timeouts. Obviously in that situation, yards are really important. Just heads up, we going into the week, you go through your 2-minute meeting. What do they do? What are, tendencies and whatnot. And so we're like, okay, hey, heads up for pressure, even on a running clock. They're going to try, they can get to it still. So be ready for some adjustments on the fly. So we had a couple protection fixes, that we got it blocked up and got the ball out, especially there was a deep bench cut to Emeka that we had to get a protection fix, and just guys being on the same page. And, it wasn't the first time this year that we've had to do it, but it's nice to see, even with new guys in the offensive line, over communicating, being on the same page, getting it done. And then they wanted to bring another pressure on the last play. Well, the last real play that we had, got to the screen. And then at that point, just trying to eat up some clock, center the ball for the kicker, and go from there. And understanding that we still had the timeouts. And Emeka did catch that second ball on the sideline. It's a catch. I don't, even the head ref on the field said that it was a catch, but he can't. I guess New York has to call in to change it, but they were showing an angle on the stadium that apparently New York didn't have. So I don't know how that works, but if we have a camera angle in our stadium, the people that are doing the NFL replay assist should probably also have that angle. That's just me. But yeah, once again, that kid's a stud. He caught it in a critical moment.
Baker Mayfield shows up with Geek Squad to fix the camera angles and plug in the cords. Is that you?
Can can we make sure the Wi-Fi is good here?
Okay, you mentioned a really key point in there. In 2-minute drives, until the clock is stopped, you usually don't get pressures from a defense. For people watching at home
Yep.
that might not know quite as much football, but stop clock, right? Incomplete pass, ball goes out of bounds, runner goes out of bounds, defensive penalty, you spike the ball just like an incomplete pass. Okay, boom, be alert. That's like red alert. But when teams can dial up pressures as you're going, as the clock's running and you're just tempo with your plays, explain the difficulty of that and the communication, the clear, concise communication that has to take place between you and the center.
It's really tricky because you're trying to balance the fact of, okay, I'm playing against the clock, trying to snap the ball as quickly as possible with just a base call, signals and whatnot, and go from there and just try and execute it. So when teams are able to get to those pressures and they know where your back's going, it's tough. But just our guys being able to take a second, take a breath, look at it before we snap it, be like, okay, do we need to flip this protection or do we need to do something else and completely change it? And just that's next level ball. And our guys are all capable of doing that. And they did it for the last 3 weeks. So it's obviously great to have under the belt. And it also gives so much confidence going down the road when you've had these reps at it.
We got to give out some game balls. I'm going to give you only 3. Okay. You can divvy them up however you'd like: offense, defense, special teams. So yeah, you got some guys to pay off here. You got Evans, you got Shepard, Egbuka, Jamel Dean, Winfield Jr., Vita Vea, just for the celebration. That's it, not for his play. And then Chase McLaughlin. There's going to be some guys upset that they don't get game balls.
Got to go with Antoine and Jamel Dean, 2 of them. And then the third one's got to go to Chase. Obviously coming back after you get a field goal blocked, being a similar spot on the field. This is the last play of the game and you know it, nailing it. So yeah, give it to those 3 guys. Antoine, Dean. Thank goodness Dean used his hands this time, and Chase McLaughlin.
That's excellent.
we love ripping on Dean. We love ripping on him
for taking in.
Hey man, you got 2 hands for a reason. Let's go. Yeah.
That's nice. What about Egbuka? Poor guy, poor rookie. He doesn't get a game ball. Hey, shut up, rookie. Give me some water.
Maybe when he's a veteran, he'll get one. But for now, we'll keep humbling him.
That's great. All right, when we look around at some of these quarterbacks playing high-level football right now, it's not always the original place in which they started that they're now thriving. Talk about the different organizations you've been a part of and maybe bouncing around, finding the right fit, and people realizing we got plenty of tread left on the tires here. We got an absolute winner. We got a guy who's going to inject confidence and juice into our team, and he obviously knows how to win these late games with some heroics with his legs or his arm. Talk about bouncing around before finding the success you found these last couple of years.
It's tricky because, not every place is going to be the right fit for you. And it's not to, degrade other spots, but, every once in a while when you find a place like I found here in Tampa, it just feels right. And they just run it. They run it really well from ownership down. Everybody's on the same page. So, and that's whenever you have an organization that from top down, they're like, okay, this is what our team's about. This is our standard. And everybody at that point can just go do your job at the very best level possible. And that's, when I got to Tampa, they were like, hey, just be yourself. And it wasn't like that at other places. There's always the conversations about, what's your typical franchise quarterback look like. But I think for me, it's always been be yourself. How do I lead? How do I elevate the guys around me? How do I, get mentally and physically ready to go each and every week? And that for each guy that looks different. And I think that's the important part is, when you have a place that allows you to do that, that's important. So sometimes it's not always pretty, but I also wouldn't change the trajectory of my career, the places I've been, the lessons I've had to learn, the different roles I've been in. I think that's all, invaluable lessons and things that I've been able to take away to put me in this position, to be able to have mental reps and things that I've, put in the bank a little bit to be able to have now and trying to play at a high level.
When you were in LA, was Cohen there? He was there, correct?
Yeah, Liam's there.
Okay, so you meet Liam Cohen. People want to talk about the start this season, but I haven't heard anybody talk about the last 2 coordinators you had. Liam Cohen and Coach Canales, Dan Canales. They're both head coaches, by the way.
Yep.
So are you on their holiday mailing list? Do you get Christmas cards? Do they send you like $100 every month to Cheesecake Factory? Like, what the hell, dude? That's 2 guys in a row.
You would hope and think that. No, I love both those guys. Very different, two very different personalities. Dave is extremely positive. Somebody that, no matter what, good or bad, he's just like, nah,
I already know what you're going to say about Liam.
Liam we got along well because we are both South Pole elves. I mean, he's a mass hole. Even though, he's from the Northeast, so I just call him a mass hole. But he's an angry elf, so it's very different guys, but love being around them. And then now moving on to Josh Grizzard, he was in our room, all the meetings last year, so I obviously had some prior knowledge and knowing him, but it's been a smooth transition.
I'm just shocked we're not getting gifts for Christmas. That's ridiculous. So the one thing that has remained constant, no matter where you've been in the league, whether a successful season or a tough season, injuries, health, whatever it's been, you're always yourself at the podium, and you give some spicy sound bites, and it's just like, hey, this is who I am. Explain. I was of the mind like, oh, I got to hold all this stuff in. I don't want to show too much personality. And I, you're kind of scared to let anything out, but you're so authentic in these interviews. Explain your post-game mentality.
For me, I don't have it all figured out. And I think being authentic I'm still learning along this journey of life, and especially this football journey. I don't have it all figured out, but it's fun to be able to show a little bit of vulnerability, weakness, because that's relatable. And just showing that, okay, I don't have it all figured out. I'm going to continue to go throughout whatever it is, good or bad. I'm going to try and learn from it, and take something away from each situation. So, I think that's where it stems from is, okay, I don't have to fake it. If I just be myself, good, bad, ugly, then that's okay. I can own that, and I can be proud of that walking away from a locker room, understanding that I did everything I thought at least was right at that time. If not, then I learned from it. And if it was good, then continue to do it.
Just so you know, Rearview guests are 2-0 since they've been on the show. We had Herbert. He beat the Raiders the very next week. And then we had Jared Goff, and he beat the Ravens the very next week. So you got a big one against Philly, and they're showing up in your spot in Tampa this week. Let's look ahead to that game. Battle of 2 undefeated teams. Yeah,
it's gonna be a tough matchup. We know that. I mean, just from a talent standpoint, their defense, obviously, it starts up front. Those guys they got some monsters. So you got to take care of those guys first and foremost. And with obviously our O-line, it is what it is. You got some guys shuffling around. And learning and playing on the fly. So we'll have a good game plan, obviously, to try and tire these guys out. Advantage for us, we're in Tampa, the heat, they're not used to that. I know there's already been the stories that broke about them coming down to Tampa a day early. I don't necessarily think that helps them. One day doesn't get you acclimated to this humidity. So I think honestly, it makes them think about it more when they get down here earlier. But first and foremost, it starts up front. And I think that's as a whole team, that's the mindset, because with them, they have a great offensive line. Obviously, Saquon's a freak. So this game goes down to the battle in the trenches. And then from there, as a skill group, we got to be able to execute more and just more efficiently. I don't think we've played nearly close to a clean ball game from a skill group. It starts with me. So trying to get more completions early and often and keep these guys on the field and tire them out. Playing
against your former guy, Jalen Hurts there at Oklahoma. Talk about his success these last couple of years and what you're looking forward to seeing from him.
I mean, I think, I just think the way Jalen carries himself, obviously, he talks about his mentality, how he looks up to some of the great competitors, Jordan, Kobe, some of these guys that just mentally ready, that he's always trying to outwork you. And I think he's always been like that. That's not a front. So I respect the hell out of that, first of all.
Do you think he talks in Thanos quotes and like Disney quotes too sometimes?
I don't think he means to do it, but it might come off that way. But I think he's a deep thinker that always tries to motivate his guys by leading by example. So you can respect that.
So we're going to flip the script. You are actually eligible to ask me 2 questions. This could get really
Really?
weird, but I'm excited to do it. Yeah, one football, one personal, I guess, or whatever you want to do.
This is wow.
I felt like I didn't have to worry about this with Jared Goff and Justin Herbert, but I do have to worry about this with you.
Well, you did it right, not giving me a heads up because I would have came really prepared with this. I don't want to go butt fumble. It's been asked too many times.
Thank you for sidestepping the low-hanging fruit. Don't hit your head.
Did you ever comment on Rex Ryan's veneers and how they were way too big for his mouth?
Oh my god!
Is that a conversation you guys
terrible.
had? Is that a conversation you guys had or no?
We did not.
Okay.
They are. Did you ever watch Friends? Remember Ross from Friends, where his teeth glow? They're kind of like that. But you know, it was. I think they were more pronounced though because he did get surgery after rookie year. He got like the lap band surgery, and then he was like super lean when we showed up for off season. And then the teeth were like, even you're like, whoa,
really makes it pop.
I'm sorry, Rex. I love you.
I love Rex too. I just think it's hilarious when I get to get on him. Let's see, football wise, who's the most talented guy you ever played with?
Ooh, played with. I mean, I've said Revis before. Dude, it was so hard in practice, especially as a rookie. You're trying to develop a franchise quarterback, and then this dude's just taking the ball, boomerang ball, like every throw. You know, you're just like, God bless. And you're competitive. You know, I'm like, I want to win. I got to beat this guy. He's supposed to be the best. I got to beat him. And it was torture.
Yeah.
He was incredible. LaDainian Tomlinson was incredible the year we had him. My second year, I'm trying to think, another like glue type player was Jericho Cotchery in the slot. And those kind of guys that can get other people lined up, don't get quite the attention that other, big splash play receivers get. And he would just grind out some crucial third downs. And he was a glue guy. Anybody like that come to mind for you with players you played with or played against? Like that kind of guy who gets everybody else lined up?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we talked about Emeka doing it. I mean, Chris Godwin, I think, has been doing that here for a long time. Obviously, he gets some great recognition, but what he does for the locker room, I think that's something that he's a guy like that. And Jarvis Landry was like that too. So being around, why is it always like a slot receiver that is the difference maker?
I feel like they have to be the cutoff man. Like in baseball, they got to be the intermediary between the further guys outside and everybody in the scrum kind of deal. So
yeah. Glue guys are the best. Is it true that you and KOC, for the non-football people out there, Kevin O'Connell, toilet papered Nick Mangold's house on Thanksgiving?
There are other people a part of this. I mean, no.
Are you sure?
I mean, what?
Are you sure?
You're breaking up. I can't. You must be driving through the canyon. Sorry.
That's weird. I've been stationary. You're the one in the car. Yeah, you guys. Did you and Kevin O'Connell toilet paper Mangold's house on Thanksgiving?
Did you or did you not? Why did you get so litigious? I feel like I'm on the stand. Forget the rear view.
Well,
jeez,
the people want to know.
I can't remember.
Celebrating early.
Where I was.
Had a Thanksgiving game, huh? You were celebrating early.
That's some good advanced scouting right there.
Got to take notes.
Well, thank you for flipping the script. Thank you for getting us across the finish line, buddy. I'm so happy for you. So proud of you these last couple of years in Tampa and the way you guys started this season. It really looks like you're on the right track, and I love the trajectory. So we appreciate you taking time. We know you're busy, and enjoy this one from this past week. Get ready for the Eagles this week, and thanks for joining NFL on Fox presents Rearview.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right, just getting back home. We had the Arizona Cardinals at the San Francisco 49ers, and that game started out as a rock fight. It was back and forth, low scoring, and then suddenly a football game broke out. Some of the lowlights, if you will, 2 major injuries for both squads, and that's going to help reshape the NFC West, in my opinion. But Nick Bosa done for the year with the knee injury, and then, of course, James Conner for the Cardinals, their stud running back. He's going to be down for the rest of the year, it sounds like. So those kind of injuries will reshape the way this team approaches these next few weeks. and, they might have to look at some options of different players before the trade deadline, and we'll see if anything happens with any of these squads, but look for both of them to try and recover from that. For the 49ers, Jones and Pearsall, Mac Jones filling in for week number 2 of Brock Purdy being down. He already got a win at New Orleans last week and then proceeds to win again this week. And the highlight of the day to me was probably the 2-minute drive at the end. And then there was a 4th and 2 that Mac Jones hits Ricky Pearsall for 34 yards on just a go ball up the sideline, and excellent throw, even better catch. Ricky Pearsall had an excellent week 1 with over 100 yards receiving, and did it again on Sunday with 8 catches, 117 yards. Just a breakout game for him again. And they needed it big time. Don't forget, the Niners were down Purdy. They were down George Kittle. They're down Jawan Jennings. They're subbing people in, trying to make this thing work. The final march of the game for Mac Jones, putting his team in position to kick a field goal and win 16-15 in one of the ugliest games you've ever seen. Mac Jones is just on fire. He's decisive. He's got great feet, and he hadn't played a perfect game. He took a safety. He had thrown an interception and just erased all that from his mind, and suddenly finds Tonjes, who's subbing in for George Kittle because he's hurt on a big play. Then he hits Sky Moore, probably 4th or 5th on the depth chart as a receiver. And then he hits Kendrick Bourne, one of his old buddies that he reunited with from New England, on a huge play. And then they set up the McCaffrey screen that ultimately leads to a 35-yard field goal by Eddie Pinheiro. This is a gritty, not pretty win, but you'll take those divisional wins early in September. But these injuries are piling up. It sounds like the Niners are going to get Purdy back this week. So is there a trade in play here for Mac Jones? I'm not sure. The guy, he did get nicked up with his knee a little bit, had to finish the game with a knee brace, was limping pretty good. At one point in the game, he couldn't even get the ball to McCaffrey on like a stretch handoff that's supposed to hit on the outside. And, he's limping back there to extend it, almost missed the handoff on the goal line. So, is there a chance now that Bosa's down? Does this make sense for anybody else in their head? But I'm just spitballing here. What about Trey Hendrickson for Mac Jones? Bengals need a quarterback. 49ers, they need a defensive pass rusher, a defensive end. They just lost Bosa. You'd have Hendrickson on a 1-year deal. I don't know. I wonder if either side would have to give up a little more in this situation, and if the Cincinnati Bengals are willing to make a trade like this. Remember, they had issues trying to sign Trey Hendrickson this offseason because they paid Jamar Chase, they paid T. Higgins, and of course, Joe Burrow. That's where the chunk and the bulk of the finances are for the Bengals. So I wonder if they'd consider that. Let me know if that's a decent prediction in the comments below. Speaking of predictions, it's time for our Kalshi prediction of the week. The Kalshi prediction market is giving America a 60% chance to win the Ryder Cup. What do I think is going to happen this weekend? I like the odds. Obviously, the home course advantage at Bethpage Black in New York. I think that's huge, knowing that, we got at anchor for us, really, Scotty Scheffler, the world's #1 golfer. I think we got plenty of roster, and this is a long course. It leans towards the length that our players can play with. They can bomb the ball, so that's gonna be great. I think we got a good mix too of precision players and some clutch putting. I think the crowd's gonna be really into this one too. But at 60%, I'm liking those odds. And don't forget, this is on U.S. soil now. The Europeans got to come over here and fight us on our soil. So I'm going U.S. wins. As always, thank you for tuning in, and huge shout out to our guy Baker Mayfield. What an interview. We appreciate you, bud. Stay tuned for more weekly episodes of NFL on Fox presents Rearview throughout the NFL season. Follow NFL on Fox presents Rearview, Goat Farm Sports, and Shadowline on all social media platforms for top moments from the show.